Hello and welcome to the Gamers Health Cast. I am Eric Tenkar. This is my lovely wife, Rach, and today we are going to touch probably on a few things, but the main thing we're going to touch upon is going to be mental health in the midst of this pandemic. The numbers are out there. I don't have them in front of me, but we have heard that suicides, especially amongst teenagers, is up. Kids are not going to school. They're not socializing. Listen, this social media is very superficial in a lot of ways. Are there ways to socialize and actually get feedback and actually participate in the community online? Yes. All right, we'll talk about that later. But for now, I know a lot of people in this industry, a lot of people that are members of the community, and to a large extent, everybody is suffering some way in their mental or emotional health during COVID. We're not meant to be isolationists. That's not the human nature. The human nature is to be communities. We're like a pack animal. Why do we build cities and towns? And
why do we have families? We're designed to live that way.
Right. So when you shut out friends, family, companions, your social circles because of COVID, you're losing a lot of that support network that you didn't even realize that you had. And it's rough. I mean, and on top of that, we've just come off of the winter time, right? We just got into spring, but winter is also a time with seasonal depression.
Right, because there's so much more darkness that people's mood changes because of, like it disturbs their natural rhythms.
So when I worked my last couple of months the NYPD, one of the sergeants that I worked with, we were in an office that had windows, but the windows just led to hallways. You saw it that one time.
Yeah, that was weird.
We were in a glass.
Somehow they thought natural light would be coming in.
But natural light had to go through generally at least
5 offices.
Yeah, or at least a solid door to reach us. So what he did, what Mike did, was he bought one of these. That's like a solar lamp.
Yes, like a not a UV lamp, but like a blue lamp. It's like a blue lamp, and
it replicates sunlight.
Yes,
and that was the whole point to it. And he would actually bring it to work because we worked a desk and supervised, our subordinates. And he brought this with him because he was prone to depression. He would say it. I get seasonal depression, and he could be one miserable fuck. Not a bad guy. Don't get me wrong. Just a depressing individual to talk to. And he brought this lamp in, and I will say it did change his mood. Now, maybe it was as much psychological.
I think we got one of those, and then we were going to use it, and then we didn't use it because it was supposed to balance. It was supposed to balance out your natural rhythms.
So.
And it was like a blue light. I think it was a UV light, but not one that would burn you.
Right. So, I mean, and I'm not even suggesting it. I'm just making an observation that somebody I know who had suffered from seasonal depression went this route, and it appeared to change their mood in a positive manner. But again, I don't know if that was more psychosomatic type of deal of, I've done this action, therefore I better be a happier person, or if the light actually changed it. Although in the end, does it really make much of a difference? Well,
it depends.
Okay.
Like,
was he faking being happy? So I guess if he was faking being happy, then it didn't help. But if he was truly feeling better about himself, then the lamp did help.
Right. And it's interesting because, like, they say, like, just working in mental health all these years, they would always say, like the police would always say, yeah, it's June and December, the worst times. I was like, June? Yeah, and they're like, yeah, a lot more suicides in June, and extreme behavior and things like that. So, people who experience like, depressions really experience a lot of them in the winters. And then we had a lot of people like, with bipolar also that, when the summertime came, like as the days got longer, their mania would get to be more intense. And so, or they'd have an episode of mania, which, would leave the person crashing and kind of at risk, or, at risk because of whatever other things were happening because of the mania, like, like paranoia and things like that, psychosis and
So
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
So the longest day and the shortest
Yeah,
day.
our equinoxes.
The equinox. Well, no, they're not the equinoxes.
No?
No, the equinoxes are equal. We just had the equinox.
Sorry, the solstice.
Solstice, yes, which is when you have the most light and the least amount of light. And I think it's interesting because you wouldn't think that. Well, somebody's like, the days are too long. Well, you know what? Because maybe their brains are just too active. But here's the issue. We have now been in the midst of this pandemic for over a year. We have been in various levels of shutdown for over a year. New York City public schools, high schools, finally are going back to in-person learning, but probably less than 25% because most families opted to keep their kids home. And now, they're opening up, there's still only the option of keep the kids home. And school principals apparently are saying, please keep your kids home because we don't
feel like it.
Yeah, come into school, they could get sick or die. And
sounds like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but on the other end,
Right. And you deal with some of your clients are high school students that are dealing with this lack
junior
of
high,
socialization.
high school, and there's a lot of them are like depressed. A lot of them are having anxiety about what it means to go back, or what's coming up for them. A lot of them don't even do the online thing, like they initially they did, but they were having trouble.
The online thing being the online school.
Yeah, exactly. The online school. And then, they'd have trouble or they'd not understand something, and, they'd just grow frustrated with it because I think they perceive that help isn't there in quite the same way as when they're actually in the classroom. And so, they just are very isolated. And then it's like, days later, the parent will get a phone call. Oh, your child didn't sign on to class for this many days. And it almost feels like the teachers are like begging the kids to like say they did these assignments. I don't know. It doesn't sound like a good situation for the kids to be learning in, especially if, the kid has limited support.
Right.
Yeah.
And that goes even to people that are, maybe you're not the parent of a child. Maybe it's you yourself. Again, these are tough times. They're struggling times. And if you have issues, health issues, whether it's physical or mental health, it's emotional, the pandemic cutting you off from physical contact with your normal support system. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't realize how much my local pub was part of my support system until I did not have my local pub for, I don't know, about 6 months. I didn't go down. And I kept in contact with some of the people that I was friends with, but it isn't the same as actually socializing. Now, something that I'm going to throw out there, and this might not be applicable to everybody, but over in the Tenkar Tavern Discord server, we do a weekly hangout, 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursday nights, and listen, we just talk. It isn't just about gaming. It's about movies. It's about music. It's about some current events. It was about the stuck tanker this week in the Suez Canal. But you know what? If it reminds me of anything, it reminds me of being at my local pub, talking with people at the local pub.
It's just sharing life.
Sharing life. It's refreshing.
From their perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I will be doing, and I'm not sure how soon I'll be kicking this off, because I put this out to the community on Discord, and there's a great response to it. So obviously there's a need for it. I'm gonna flip the clock face, so to speak, by 12 hours. And we're going to add in at least once a month, maybe more often.
Sorry, I'm fidgety.
It's okay. You can be fidgety. We're going to do from like 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern. So this way, people that are shift workers, people that are on the other side of the pond, the other side of the world, people that are working from home, whatever, have an opportunity, even if you don't participate. You know what? You can be a lurker in this stuff. A lot of times I was at the pub, I was lurking into other conversations because there was just something refreshing about hearing these conversations and being part of these conversations. And I think we need that. And you know what? Facebook does not give it to you. I'm sorry. All right. Twitter, my opinion of Twitter, right there.
Oh, nice.
All right. For those listening at home, you can hold up 3 fingers and then remove the outer 2 fingers, and that's what you get.
Read between the lines.
Read between the lines, folks. But it doesn't replicate that, I don't know, call it bullshitting, but that general ability to socialize and when you're typing out stuff, you know what? You lose all inflection, all emotion. You come off and you get perceived by how your I guess listener or the receiver of your words, you're getting received from a perspective of their mindset, not necessarily your mindset. So you might say something that's innocent and they can perceive it as you saying that you just, shat in their mother's grave. And now you're trying to figure out why this person's coming down your throat, because there is no nuance to this stuff. It doesn't exist. That's why we need a verbal communication. And I mean, I'm going to show my age. Not that I ever participated in this, but I was of the age of party lines. Okay. I was, however, the age of AOL chat rooms where you would chat with people but again, that was text message, and it was a random high speed text and all that stuff. But you know what? Come to our Discord server on a Thursday night, or I'll announce it here on one of the casts when we get a time and date for our flipped on morning schedule, and be a part of a community of a group, and get to talk about bullshit, because there's something important about doing that as a people. I consider ourselves blessed. I'm now 10 days past my second vaccination. Can't believe it. Rach is 14, 15 days past her. So we're basically fully vaccinated. We will have my sister, my brother-in-law, and my niece, my mother's cousin, and a family friend over for Easter. And except for my sister's family, everybody's been vaccinated. And according to the CDC, you can have one family unit that isn't vaccinated. So we're kind of covered. But we need that too. We need that socialization. We used to get together with my sister pretty much
basically weekly, at least.
And do I talk to my sister multiple times during the week? Yeah, it's not. Again, it's still not the same. I'm not saying that the Discord chats are going to, the voice chats and hangouts are going to be the same as sitting at your local pub, but they're a damn close second.
Right.
And
so do we want to explain like some of the symptoms of depression?
Please. Yes, because you're better at that.
I'll do that and like sort of, I'll say some of them, and what you can do is sort of like maybe break down a little bit of how like maybe some of the symptoms relay or get mimicked during the pandemic. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Far away, hon.
So some of the symptoms of depression include irritability, feelings of failure.
And by the way, listen.
Like feeling like everybody's going to see through and know that you're like some horrible piece of shit.
And that's imposter syndrome. And I know a lot of creators in this industry and a lot of talented people. And I have not heard as much imposter syndrome in I'm talking people that we have honest conversations. We're talking, all right, not just. And these are people that are down in themselves because you're in the midst of the world of COVID, and working from home is awesome to a large extent, but it also means you're not socializing like you would at work, and there is that certain loss. So and when you get isolated, you can start judging yourself.
Right. So here's another symptom, like you brought us to, that we isolate, we pull back from family, we pull back from friends, spend a lot of time on our own. Something else that happens to people is that, they'll have like a lot of difficulty concentrating and making decisions. They'll have like extremes with sleep, like they'll not be able to sleep at all, or they'll wake up sort of at the wee hours of the morning, having had maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and then not be able to get back to sleep. It goes to the other extreme as well. Someone might be sleeping 12 hours a day. So, those are some things to watch out for. Also, extremes in appetite.
Well, listen,
you're either really ravenous or you have absolutely no interest in food, and you could care less about it.
And part of that
I've never quite been there. I guess I go the other way.
the ravenous,
or just like there's not enough food,
right?
Or because not enough sweets and junk to fill that feeling,
right? Because you're trying to
numb it,
and find a substitute for something that's missing in your life. And here's the thing. Like when you were talking about people isolating because of depression, the pandemic is forcing you to fucking isolate.
Yeah.
The pandemic is forcing people to mimic symptoms of depression. So if you're already prone to depression, and maybe you don't even know it, right? But
right.
You were prone to it. Maybe it was never diagnosed, and maybe you've had a life where you've never actually been truly. It's not really affected you because you've been busy and everything, and all of a sudden now
you've had bits and pieces, a few symptoms, but not enough to meet, I guess, like the diagnostic clinical criteria for a full diagnosis of depression. But then this crisis happened, and then sometimes I can just push it over,
right? Because again, it's mimicking the symptoms of depression. You are going to isolate. You are going to pull back from people. Heck, today at the pub, I see somebody I hadn't seen in a while, and fist bump. Or, as my endocrinologist said to me on Tuesday, that was good to see you. He goes, normally I'd shake your hand, but I'm like, yeah, I know. He goes,
yeah, and as he sits there with his spit guard.
Yeah, it's the elbow bump, and is it the same? No. But, it's the attempt to have some sort of intimacy while still social distancing. And again, this whole idea of isolation can certainly push you into depression if the potential is there. And if you or somebody who just never was depressed before, you can just find yourself getting real mopey and all that stuff because you're missing out on things that made you complete.
Yeah, I remember when all this stuff started. I'd sign off of work, and then it would be going dark outside, and I'd be like, no, I'm not turning on the light. I'd sign off of work, crawl in the bed for a week or something, a couple of weeks. And of course, he yelled at me like, "What are you doing in the dark? Turn on that light!"
But
you're not allowed to be depressed, right? You know.
But here's
So yeah.
And here, listen. That's again. What broke that cycle? Somebody
caring
out, right?
and pointing out that, well, I'm concerned about this. You know, I see you doing this like a bunch of times already. You know, so yeah, having that in your life is really important, and not everybody does. But some of the other symptoms of depression are like a feeling of worthlessness, feeling like you let your family down, things like starting to have like suicidal thoughts, you know, thoughts that you'd be better off dead and things like that. And, you know, so there's, we always have to respond to that, you know, when you have those thoughts, it's always like, you know, important to reach out to somebody, you know, and be able to get, you know, some relief from them, whether it's, you know, whether it's the hotline, whether it's, which we can leave, we're able to leave.
If you know the number, put it
hotlines like underneath.
I didn't have it prepped, but I can.
We can add it on at the end.
If you tell me right now, I can add a banner.
Oh, well, let's give that.
Okay, and folks, here's something else for people that consider themselves part of the community here. Our voicemail is 347-509-5168. If you need somebody to talk to, leave a message, leave a call back. I'll call you back. Okay. It's I'm retired. I'll find the time. You're not alone. Okay.
So here's the national number.
Okay.
Since like they don't have all the New York City resources. So it's 800-273.
Okay, 800 273
8255.
8255.
And then you can also look up things like NAMI, NAMI, and they have like a lot more educational material on their website, and they also have a lot of like stuff on Zoom going on, you know, to like better understand depression and things like that, and hear from other people. So,
and listen, folks, there's nothing embarrassing about it. Okay, the only thing that's going to be embarrassing is if you don't reach out to help and it gets worse for you. So reach out. There's nothing. The strongest person is the one that knows they need help, and will seek it. Okay, it's the weak person that refuses help when they need it. That's just my opinion.
Right. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, I just never had the courage to like kill myself," and it's like, well, what is the more courageous action? Living through all this fucking muck, or checking out?
Right.
You know, so it's all in how you define courage.
You know, I truly believe that everybody in our community is valuable. We are better for everyone that's part of this community. So again, the suicide hotline number is on the bottom of the screen here. It's 800-273-8255. If you need to reach out to Rach and I, it's 347-509-5168. Or if you just want to hit us a topic that you'd like us to address on Gamers Health.
Yeah.
Again, that's a great way to get in contact with us. I listen to all the voicemails. If you don't want us sharing your voicemail on the cast, just say so. I'm not here to like ruin anybody's privacy. Anything that you tell us to be confidential is confidential. Believe me, I have signed enough of the non-disclosure agreements in my career to understand what that means. So I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah.
But really, again, COVID. The word COVID sucks now. Let's be honest. Things are getting better. The vaccine is out there. Positivity numbers are going down, at least here in the States. They're talking about, maybe you can have a barbecue on July 4th. Just not too many people because
you'll be allowed to have barbecue. Wowzers!
Listen, life.
We'll take it.
Life is going to slowly but surely. Returning to normal is kind of like too. It's vague and at the same time
normal
too specific.
Is not
But it's gonna you're gonna
Play
start
it in the cards better.
Right.
Yeah.
it's gonna start you're gonna get aspects of your life back that have been denied. Okay. And it's gonna be progress. It's gonna be incremental. Rach and I, however, if you're going to be at North Texas RPG Con in June, we will be there. I gotta get the fuck out of this house. I gotta go someplace. And I'm dying to go to North Texas. And yes, I'll wear my fucking face mask on the plane. I won't be like I don't know, a first presidential envoy who decided that he didn't have to wear his mask on a commercial flight. I'm just saying.
Who that?
Kerry.
Oh, great.
All right. So, and let's
Trust the signs.
we're fucking immunized. So if you ask my cardiologist, should we have to wear masks? He'd tell you, fuck no. He goes, but I can understand why they want us to wear masks, even if we don't require it. And the reason is medically or scientifically, it should be required. Because as long as there are people that aren't immunized and still at risk, if I pull my mask off and walk down the street and walk at the store,
Yeah, we're not
somebody's
asking
gonna
for
go,
everybody's cards.
right.
So.
Somebody could be going, holy fuck, if he ain't wearing a mask, I'm not wearing a fucking mask. I understand.
We should get our cards laminated. A lot of people are laminating their card, their vaccination card, to be able to show.
You didn't hear that New York State's is giving an app?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
I don't want to say I don't want to get banned by making it's not even a joke, it's a comment, but it's going to be getting to the point where it's going to be like you want to go to a venue. We have a venue to go to, I think, in October.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I think that was scheduled.
That's cool.
But I am concerned that we're going to turn into a place where it's going to be like, well, before you can attend actually we are turning this. Before you can attend a Mets game or a Yankees game, you got to show your vaccination papers. And I don't like that. Not that I don't understand why. It's a slippery slope. Okay. Listen, as law enforcement, I was against the Patriot Act. I saw it as a slippery slope, giving too much power to too few people.
Yeah, that made it really hard to get people like trained in place, like especially people with felonies, to help them get to finding some type of work that they could engage in.
So
yeah.
But in any case, folks, I think that we covered a wide swath, and we really, again, I can't stress this enough. If you're listening to this, all right, whether it's on the podcast, whether it's on YouTube, you're not alone. Okay, you're part of the community. You are not alone. All you got to do is reach out. Your community is there for you, but there's a cost to that. You got to be there for them. So just as we're saying that if you need help, you can reach out, and we'll be there to help you as best we can.
It's sort of like what was it? Remember that, like Apex Tech.
Yeah. We can't call you, so you gotta call us. Hold on a second. I gotta get my hair bald to do that.
Oh.
And put on a shop smock. We can't call you, so you'll have to call us. 1-800-APEX-TECH. 347-509-5168. That's the number for the vidcast here at Gamers Health, Tavern Chat in general. But seriously, folks, you're not alone. All right. Yeah. If you're a gamer, it's a community, right? You're never alone. Don't think you are. Don't allow yourself to be so. On that note, we are not medical professionals. Rach is a professional, but not medical professional. Well,
no, I'm no doctor. I don't even play one on TV.
All right. So
I work with plenty, but that's not my shtick.
Yeah. So we will say this: use your common sense to keep yourself healthy and safe. And why yourself? Because if you're not healthy and safe, you can't help others. And a lot of people go, "I'm not worried about my health, but I am worried about my parents because they're older. I'm worried about my wife because she's at risk." You know what? Worry about yourself, because if you get sick, guess what? You put everybody else at jeopardy. So you figure out how to keep yourself healthy and safe. And then you can help the others. All right? Be safe, be well. God bless. And I'll add the visual there for you. And Padre, if you're watching, that's for you. God bless. Be safe. Roll those dice and roll them well. Hold on a second.
And take good care.
Yes, hold on. I gotta. There, knocking on wood. Pressed wood, but it is wood nonetheless. I will be back again tomorrow. All right, folks. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless. We'll catch you next week, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Something like that.